previous blog, Snowman 2, we covered the design and production of a prototype snowman ornament for our 18 grandchildren. The next phase of this project involved the mass production of the 18 snow people, a politically correct term for snow women and snow men. Looking at the calendar, I realized that there was no way I was going to be able to reproduce this prototype snowman without some 21st century help. I had purchased a Vega lathe duplicator for my large lathe and my midi-lathe some years ago. So I pulled out the smaller duplicator and attached it to my jet midi-lathe, worked up a template for the snowman profile, and got to work. Taking several 4-foot long pieces of southern magnolia of the proper dimensions, about 2.5 inches by 2.5 inches, I cut 18 blanks, each 6 inches long. Then sitting in front of the TV watching some old episodes of MASH, I marked the centers on each end of the blocks. A 5-gallon bucket worked well for transporting all the blanks around while I was processing them. Then off to the lathe. I have my midi lathe on a roller stand, so I rolled it outside to take advantage of the wonderful Florida weather and natural daylight. Each blank was then turned into a 2-inch diameter cylinder using a roughing gouge. This went a lot faster than starting with the square block and using the duplicator to round off to a cylinder. Once I had 18 cylinders turned, I then remounted each blank and with the duplicator cut the profile of the snow person. I then sanded from 80 to 400 grit using Abernet. There was a small base remaining on each of the turned profiles that I decided to leave. It actually looked okay when the snow persons were finally painted. I sprayed each of the turned profiles with a white high-gloss lacquer sealer and then turned them over to my wife to add the final touches. She had gotten some snow acrylic paint that gave the snow people a snow-textured look. My wife went with pink accents for the snow women. The next step was to add our name medallions with date to the bottom with the name of the grandchild, then off to the mailbox.